Hi there, this is Jen Evangelista from Grace in Color, and I just wanted to share a quick tutorial on how to cover a composition book quickly and easily and make it pretty. So you will turn a book that looks like this into a book that looks like this. Obviously, this is only one half of it. I have done one half for you in this video, and then I will go back through and do the back as well. And it's so easy to do, and it makes it so unique and so cool, and it's great for your kids when they have composition books, and it's great for you if you want to journal. I use this technique in my Journal in 7 course where you create your own unique journal, and mine actually looks like this, completed. It's fat and happy and pretty. You also use this particular technique in the prayer journal workshop. It's also in my store and my shop, and mine looks like this. But I just wanted to briefly tell you how you can cover any notebook, okay? So basically, it's a simple technique, and I am providing you with 4 papers to try this with. Actually 5 papers to try this with. They are printable papers, and you can find them in this post, and they're printable papers, and they will easily print out, and you can use them in your for your journals, or you can use any paper at all. So it's super easy. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay guys, so I'm going to take you through this step by step of covering a composition book. This is super easy to do, and it takes a really not a very pretty book, and it makes it really pretty. So first of all, we're going to have to find some paper, and you can use any paper, scrapbook paper, paper for around your house, just really any paper is fine. This paper actually I've included as a free download for you. These are just digital papers that I actually printed out. There's 5 of them. They're coordinating, and they actually match the prayer journal workshop to give you some extra options for that as well. So that's what these look like, if you can see those. So you're welcome to use these, or like I said, you could use anything. You could actually use just plain paper and then decorate it yourself. Either way. So what I'm going to do just for this particular book is pick a couple of these, one for the front and one for the back. I'll probably just do something like the pink for the front and like just the leaves for the back, something like that. Or maybe the yellow. I don't know, maybe the yellow. I kind of like that. Okay, so you just pick your paper. It doesn't matter which one that you choose. And we just need 2, and they need to be slightly larger than the size of your composition book. So 8.5 by 11 is perfect. And just so you know, these are printed out borderless. If you can see, there's no border, right? If you print it out with a border, it actually looks like this. And so if you can see here, there's some white edge around it. This will still be okay, but you'll have to cut one side off to trim. You'll have to trim one side here. So just so you know, if you do it without a border, okay? Or with a border, not borderless. It'll say US letter, and this says US letter borderless when you're printing. So that's the way I like to print these. All right, so because I end up with a whole piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, just like you buy at the scrapbook store. Now, here is the kicker. If you use 24 weight paper or more, it is much better because it's thicker. I don't know if you can tell this. You may or may not be able to tell from there, but this is actually 20-pound paper, and it is really too thin, all right? And so you can actually see through it, and I can see the black underneath it. There's 2 things I can do for that. Number 1, I can just not worry about it. Or number 2, I can actually use 2 pieces of paper and just put a piece of white paper underneath it. That way you can't see under it. And that's what I'm actually going to do. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly adhere a plain piece of paper to my thin paper. This is just to prove to you that you can totally use any paper, even if it's just some really cheap printer paper for this. This is an old manila big old envelope that I use for my kids for camp, and it is it's really great so I don't mess up my table, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use spray adhesive. You can use any glue for this. I use spray just because it's quicker. I'm going to use a little spray adhesive here. And I'm going to put this piece of paper on top of it so it just thickens the paper. If you use cardstock, it actually is a little too heavy to cover the paper, and I'll show you why. But I mean, you can use it. It's just a little bit heavy. And see, I even have wrinkles here, but I don't care. I'm not very much of a perfectionist, so I'm totally fine with that. All right, so I'm gonna show you how to do the front, and then you just repeat the process on the back, okay? So first and foremost, I'm going to put my paper on the front of the composition book. Again, I'm gonna use the spray, but you can use any glue. Let me grab my envelope back over here. There's my glue, okay? And it doesn't have to be a heavy coat, but just enough that it'll hold it in place. And I'm going to edge it, put it up to the edge. Can you guys see that? The edge, let me get back here so you can see it. And again, it doesn't have to be centered or anything crazy like that. So if you look here, and if I open my book, I will see that I just have an edge. Okay, again, look, mine is not centered. Can you guys tell? The top is more than the bottom, and that's okay, because you're not gonna be able to tell that once you're finished with your book. So the next step is basically just folding these edges over. If you have enough glue, you can fold it just as is, but honestly, I always use extra glue here just because I wanna make sure that it holds. So I'm going to use some glue here. Maybe I will, maybe I will. Here we go. I'm gonna use some glue here, some glue here. I can trim this if I want. I'm just doing it kind of fast, so to show you that it doesn't have to take a lot of your time. There we go. First thing you do is fold over the corners, okay? Fold over both corners. And if you notice, my two pieces were kind of coming apart. So there you go, fold that over. Let's fold over the other corner. Again, it does not have to be exact. There we go. So I've got my two corners folded over. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold over the edges. Now in order to do this, I wanna get it as tight as I can. So the crease, and actually what I'll probably do is go with like a bone, what do you call this? The bone folder, just so it'll be a nicer crease. Here's my 2 pages. They're separated out a little bit, if you can tell. I don't know if you can. I spent half my life trying to get glue out. I apologize. Okay, let's get it out. And we'll just make sure that that hook's on there. Again, this does not have to be exact because this part will not be seen. None of this will be seen at the end. Okay, so let's fold this side over. And we'll fold the bottom up. This would have been better if I'd had a little more space here, but that's all right. Okay, can you guys see that? So now I have all of these edges bent over. Now here's why it doesn't really matter. Here's why it doesn't really matter. Because I'm going to put a piece of paper right here. Now for this, I can use my neutral or I can use the green. It doesn't really matter. I think I'll use this. This looks pretty. And then I'll print out another copy for the back. Because here's the cool thing about digital paper, right? You can print it over and over and over again. All right, so for here, I want it to fit the size of the back of my journal. And I could measure this, but I'm not a really great at measuring. So I'm going to sort of eyeball it, spitball it a little bit. I've got my paper cutter here. And I'm going to cut it. Always, if you do this, if you don't measure it, always cut it a little bigger than you think you're gonna need. That's perfect. That way you can always cut a little more. See, I'm gonna cut just a teeny bit more. Okay, so that's gonna be the side, and then I just have to cut the top. Again, let's just kind of eyeball it. Use a little fingernail to make a mark. And let's see if that's gonna fit. Perfect. perfect is that? All right, I will give you a little trick on this. If you, and I did not on this one, but if you use cardstock here, then it's a lot better because again, you can't see through it. For me, because I can see through it, I'll probably double this up again. All right, so let me just go ahead and double this up. Let me use my top one as a template. Get another piece of paper here. I'm sort of giving you 2-in-1. This is how to thicken your paper. That's what we're gonna say. It's 2-in-1. All right, and then I'm gonna put it on here. All right, easy breezy. Let's do this one spray just for the sake of time. I'll probably go back through and do some non-spray as well, just to make sure that it stays. But I'm gonna put my plain paper down first. Again, if your paper is thick enough, or if this is cardstock, you do not have to do this step, which is really super nice. And then I'm going to put the paper that I've cut here on top. And what I am gonna do for this one, just so you guys know, I'm gonna take my corners. I'm gonna make sure my corners all stick. Okay, all 4 corners. I'm gonna make sure they stick at the bottom because there's gonna be a decent amount of wear and tear on this journal. And I wanna make sure that the covers are secure and they stay on. Okay, let's put this on top. Just like so. Even it up. Boom, boom, boom. Get my corners all down. And voila. See that? Can you tell? Can you guys see that? So that's my inside cover. That's why it doesn't really matter if it's uneven. You see that? So here's my outside cover of my composition book. It's a cute little cover. And here's my inside cover. Done. And now it's ready. Now what I can do is I can do the back the exact same way, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the same papers on the back, just for consistency. And I will have my journal covered. And if you notice, even with me talking, it has been about 10 minutes. And so I can do both sides in about, 10 to 15 minutes when I'm not explaining as I go. And so this is a super easy way to have a unique notebook. So enjoy. Okay, so that's that. Easy breezy, right? I'm gonna do the back half now, and I hope that you see how very, very simple it is to do and how you can really make all kinds of super cheap notebooks very unique. So it's fun for you, and it's a great craft to do for kids, especially, your daughters, preteen daughters, even your sons. I mean, it's super fun and easy to do.